Shalom. This is Judah J. The Left Behind movie, the Leave the World Behind movie on Netflix is Bible prophecy. Just to let you know that. In that movie, it was talking about a time where America, which is what we know Mystery Babylon, will be attacked by their enemies. And it showed you what would actually be going on amongst the people, normal people in the world, once this attack took place. So once this attack takes place, there won't be any ability for us to communicate with one another. There won't be any ability for us to get on the internet, to have access to social media, to talk to one another, to ask each other what happened. There will be no ability for that. It will all be completely turned off. They will initially put on the television emergency broadcasting. There's something that has happened, but then there will be no access to any help. They won't tell you that there's some place for you to go for your safety. They won't tell you that basically you can access or utilize this resource or this place to go with your family or yourself in order to get away from the danger that is occurring in the nation. It will be as such when America is attacked, which is Mystery Babylon, because of Bible prophecy. People will be cut off from all sources of help. There will be no phones. There will be no internet. There will be nothing that you could use to get yourself to any semblance of safety. So now what will happen in the society is the society will turn to being a people that are completely out for themselves. It'll be a bartering system, so where you will have to barter or trade things that are of value that you have in order to get the resources you need. Things such as medicine, things such as maybe transportation, you have to barter. So if you don't have anything, you won't be able to go to another person and say, "Oh, I will buy this for you, buy this from you using the currency that will not be worth anything at that time," because all the stores and all of the different locations you would use to use money to purchase things, those resources will be gone. So it's basically based off of what you have in your possession, which will allow you to be able to attain the things and the resources that you need. So if you needed medicine, you will not be able to get medicine trading money with somebody. I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $100,000. I'll give you $1,000. I'll give you whatever you want. Nope. It'll be things, natural resources that people will now require in order to trade with you. Okay? So that's number one. All right. In this movie, it showed how since the nation was being attacked and nobody knew what was going on, there was a sense of distrust amongst people for one another. No one trusted anybody. The guy that was played by Kevin Bacon, he was at his house. He had medicine at his house. The people that were in the movie that were I think it was the black dude and the white. I think it was Julia Roberts and I forgot his name. Keeper. I forgot his name. The other guy. But it was her husband. Their son was sick. Their son could not. There was something where his teeth fell out. There was a certain frequency that the son heard that caused his teeth to fall out. So his body was breaking down. They needed some medicine in order to save him. And Kevin Bacon character, a friend of the black guy that was owned the house. If you guys watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The black guy owned the house, and Julia Roberts and her family came there as like a part of a B&B. It was like a vacation that they were taking. Now, when this whole thing happened, when their nation was being attacked, which they didn't know, they went to the black guy's friend. They went to his friend's house. The black guy, he owned the house, right? He owned his house, and he B&B'd it out to Julia Roberts and the family. Now, because all this stuff happened, the black guy had to go back to his house after he had, basically, allowed Julia Roberts and her family to rent it out. So then now he has to stay with Julia Roberts and her family in his own house, right? But she already paid for it. So when all this stuff happens, the frequency happens, the son gets sick, Julia Roberts' son gets sick, the black guy's like, "Oh, okay, I live in this area. I'll go to my friend's house that has the resources that we would need to heal your son," which is the medicine. He goes over there thinking that his friend would give him the medicine that he needs, that they would need to heal their son. But his friend Kevin Bacon was like, "We're living in the new times now. Like I'm not going to just give this to you. If you don't get away from my property, I'm going to delete you." And now the black guy is like, "I've been knowing you for years. Like, why are you completely changing to where we can't be civil? There's a problem with this woman's kid. She needs to have this medicine to help her child so he won't be, departed, leave, die." So then, he's like, Kevin Bacon's like, "No, these are the new times." And when he said that, that meant something that was very important. There's going to be a time that comes in this nation where people that you trusted, people that you thought was your very best friend, or maybe just people that you knew and you were like, "Oh, this person would help me. This is a good person. I've been knowing them for years." It doesn't matter about knowing somebody for years. When this country gets to that place that Bible prophecy has said it will get to, there will be no friends. There will be no alliances. There will be no, "Oh, I understand and I'm going to help you." Everybody's going to be for themselves. This is what the satanic elite, this is the situation or the scenario that the satanic elite has always wanted for America, to get the people to a place where they don't trust one another, where they can't talk to one another. That's the reason why you had in 2021 or 2020 the whole jab thing, where everybody was turned against each other because one man thought that took the thing, "If you don't take this thing, you're going to endanger me and my family." The other person felt like, "Oh, well, we don't want the government telling us what we need to do, and we feel like this thing you guys are all sold out to take it may be dangerous." So now you have you created two classes of people or two social structures that are against each other. The people that are in power only want to turn us against each other because we are the numbers. We are the majority. If we were to bind and if we were to get together and say no more, we're not going to fall for this whole tactic of division. We're not going to fall for you trying to separate us and to cause us to distrust one another, not to speak to one another, not to be able to communicate, right? If we said we're not going to allow it to happen and turned against the rulers, they'd be done. But because of Bible prophecy, it can't be that way. This country has to be destroyed. This Babylon, mystery Babylon, which is this country. I'm not going to say the name. You know the country you live in, right? It has to be destroyed. And so there has to be something that is powerful enough to occur in the country to separate us. The ones that are in power have the bully pulpit. They control the narrative. They're the ones that know they have the power to deceive us and convince us because of their media apparatus, their ability to speak a message, have everybody, because we're so used to listening to the messages they speak on the television, which is nothing but witchcraft and sorcery. When we're watching these news channels and these stories, a lot of us just believe it without thinking, without taking it into our minds and saying, "Okay, well, it's possible there's another side to this." We just listen to what they say verbatim, take it, and then all of a sudden we run with it. They know that. The enemies of the world know that. They want to destroy Mystery Babylon. Why? Because the Bible said Mystery Babylon, which is this country we live in, America, will be destroyed. Her enemy, her allies shall turn against her. In 1 hour, this place will be destroyed. Now, this hasn't happened yet. This is the calm before the storm. Donald Trump said back in 2015, when he got in office, right when he got in, he said, "This is the calm before the storm." They're all working together. Democrat, Republican, they seem like they're against one another. They're all working together underneath the scenes. You should know that by now. So Trump was like, "This is the calm before the storm." Now, that storm started with that whole jab that happened, right? People put that stuff in their body, made themselves into an antenna. An antenna that can be basically, you are a part of the body of mind, where now you are, you can be tracked, you can be watched because of the stuff that you put in your body, because you had a spirit of fear that led you and guided you. God said he is not, the Most High God said he is not the God, he does not give us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So if you basically allowed someone to convince you by the spirit of fear to put something in your body for your help, when the Most High God says he is not the spirit of fear, do not be led away by these voices, paraphrasing, that will tell you, oh, do this. If you don't do this, you're going to die. If you don't do this, this sounds like the whole Mark of the Beast thing that's coming. I'm not saying it's the Mark of the Beast, but it's going to be the same scenario where people are going to be such in an uprising, people put in an uprising, right? People are going to be so manipulated and scared and put in fear. They're going to accept a certain thing because they feel like their lives are going to be taken away if they don't. They're going to feel like if they don't do this thing, they're not going to be able to live, to survive. It's all about survival. And the enemy, which is Satan, knows this is all about survival. He knows our makeup. He knows most people don't trust in God. People believe the things they see. They don't believe in the things which are the spirit. God says that the just shall be delivered, the just to live by faith. Most people aren't the just. So most people will not live by faith. They'll live by the things they see. So that means that the enemy can now manipulate you and deceive you because you are looking for a thing to help you that you can see. So if I tell you something and it's something that you can reason within your mind, which is geared off of believing to see. Let me say it again. If I'm your enemy and I tell you something and I'm trying to put fear in you and I say, if you don't do this thing, you are going to perish. And it's something that's your mind. And you think it's your rational mind, but your mind is just geared to believe whatever you can see because you don't have faith. If they know that, which they do know that by all of their programming, by all of their surveillancing, by all of the evil spirits, the monitoring spirits, the familiar spirits that they use against us in order to keep their power, in order to know what we're thinking, to know how we feel about certain things. I've been telling you this for years. If they have this ability, which they do, then they know what they can do, what buttons to push to lead you in a certain direction. I've been trying to tell you this for years. I know I'm a small channel, but the smallest channels come with the real. I've noticed that as well. A lot of our channels are shadow banned. A lot of our channels don't get, the people that subscribe to our channels don't get notifications because they don't want you to hear this. They suppress these channels on purpose because we're not trying to play by some sort of rule book. We're not trying to get money. We're not trying to just be this big YouTube channel that has all these subscribers. It says basically in the time to come, it's going to be only a remnant that's going to be saved. It's not going to be the whole world going to be saved. The majority of people will go down the broad road. The people that will serve God and seek His kingdom in righteousness, right? Seek His kingdom in righteousness. All the ones that all things will be added to. Those people are in few in number. So you're going to have most people following the broad road, following taking the jab, following all and listening to the news and listening to all of the evil, manipulative, destructive, deceptive messages that they put before them. And then they're going to try to explain to you that you're crazy. They're going to say you're crazy because you are a conspiracy theorist. You're somebody that's just going against everybody because you are foil hat. You are, listen. So they knew this, right? Right? Now, this country is about to fall completely. And this movie, Leave the World Behind, showed you that the ones that are the enemies of this country, they're not just doing this on purpose to destroy America. It's Bible prophecy. This movie shows that the producer of Leave the World Behind is, guess who? Barack Obama. Some people think he's the Antichrist. I'm not sure about that yet. Maybe he is. But he's telling you exactly how it's going to be when the end comes for Babylon, Mystery Babylon, which is this America. You will not be able to you won't have any friends. Everybody will be against one another. No one will trust anybody. There'll be no communications, no internet, no ability to. You remember in the movie, it was talking about the guy. The guy was like, we're trying. Our GPS is off. The internet, the social media is off. We can't communicate with one another because nothing is working anymore, right? But then at the end of the movie, you saw Julia Roberts and her daughter and the daughter of the black guy. If you watch the movie, when I say the black guy, I forgot his name, but he's a very prominent actor too. They look out and they're looking for Julia Roberts is looking for her daughter. She's because her daughter ran off, and she knew that she possibly went to this house. This house that at the beginning of the movie, the daughter was like, "Oh, look at that house right there." When the frequencies and all the alarm sounds went off and everybody's tripping out, they were walking in the forest or whatever, or near the forest, and then all of a sudden the daughter looks at this house and she's like, "Look at that house right there." It was a big abandoned house. And then Julie Roberts, well, I'll forget that. Don't worry about that. I knew that would play a major part at the end of the film. So the daughter comes up missing. They're looking for the daughter now because the sound is like, Julie Roberts' son, his teeth is broken off and falling out of his mouth, and he's getting sick. And this is when Julie Roberts' husband is going to look for the medicine with the black guy. Remember, I told you at the beginning of the film of this video. So then Julia Roberts is with the black guy's daughter, and they look out. It's near the end of the movie. They look out, and then they find the camera scrolls to the city. They're in the forest, and then you see Julia Roberts and the black guy's daughter just look up. They're scared of something. They're walking, and then all of a sudden they're just standing there. They're looking at something. So then the camera veers over to just let us see what they're looking at. They're watching New York being completely destroyed. Bombs destroying all the buildings. Everything's being destroyed. And they're just amazed, like that, right? They're just, what's going on, right? And then all of a sudden the movie goes off, right? You see, but before the movie goes off, it goes to where the daughter's at, the one that they're looking at. Julia Roberts is looking for her daughter. So Julia Roberts, it goes to where her daughter's at. She's in that house that she was looking at before at the beginning of the film. But they were like, "Oh, don't worry about that house. Just leave that alone." The daughter went and escaped to that house after that frequency came, and it was like everybody's freaking out, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And his son gets teeth falling out. So the daughter escapes. She runs away, and she goes to that house. And then it shows her in the house, and she's watching Friends, the series Friends, Friends, and she's just looking at the TV, and it's like she scrolls to it's like on Netflix, and the episode that she decides to watch, it says the last episode. So this shows you the finality. This is like the end of what the narrative is, right? So this is like the culmination. So she's watching the end. It says the last episode. And then it just shows, it zooms in on her face, and she's looking at the television. The lights are coming in. She's looking at her television, and you hear the Friends theme song. Whatever, right? But then she's smiling, right? And then it just goes off. So this stuff she's doing. So think about it. She's watching this film, the Friends episode. Her family, her mom and the black guy's daughter is looking at New York being destroyed. The father and the black guy, the father of the black girl, and then the father of Julia Roberts' husband and her son, they're in the back seat of the car, just got the medicine because they somehow got the Kevin Bacon character to give them the medicine. I guess they gave him something. Right? Because he was like, "Look, I ain't helping you at all. You don't get off my step, even though I know you, been knowing you for years. I'm going to shoot you." And he was like, "I don't care anymore." And they offered him something, and they finally got the medicine for the son. But then they didn't go back to the movie. Basically went away from them, and it went away from Julia Roberts. It showed us what was actually going on, because the whole film was all about what's going on in the world to allow what's going on that's causing these people to have to run. What's going on with this whole frequency it seems like the whole world is hearing, the kids getting sick. What's going on that caused Kevin Bacon to completely turn against his friend that he's known for years? What is going on? It seems like the whole world is just being destroyed. Because when this time comes, the end of Babylon, which is America, I'll just say it, right? There's going to be no semblance of normalcy. There's going to be nothing but people in complete uprising. People are going to be against each other. There's not going to be any friends. It's all going to be about survival, right? Now let's tie this into the Bible in this video. If you are someone that does not know the Lord, the Most High God, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son Yahushua HaMashiach, you will be destroyed. because this is also spiritual. Those won't make it into the kingdom, the next out of this destructive period, the period of the sword, the period of God's wrath on Babylon, unless you are walking with him. If you're not walking with God and his son Yahushua Mashiach, if you don't know him, if he's not your Lord, if you're living as the world, you will be one of those taken out in these last days. All this confusion, all this who's against who, all this, when is America going to be brought into this war, so-called war? When is all these things? What's going to happen to me and my family? If you don't know Christ, knowing Christ, serving Christ will give you the possibility, because it says in the Bible, we hope in his mercy. It'll give you the possibility of being saved through these times that are coming. When all these nations turn against Babylon, when all these nations you think are beneath America and don't have the power that America has, when they rise up and join together as they're doing now, when they come together and they turn against Babylon, it's going to be lights out. They have no love for this place. They know that all these years of America doing all the undercover secret evils against their nation, throwing bombs and setting up the leaders and creating puppet leaders and putting them in these in their nations to destroy the people. All these things the people know. But it doesn't matter about what they knew. It's Bible prophecy. God allowed all this stuff to happen. It's his story. He allowed the puppet leaders to be put into power by Mystery Babylon. He allowed them to be put there so that they will see the power of the Most High God, that the people will see the power of the Most High God. There's going to be destruction in the world completely because of the sin, and also because of what they've done to his children, the children of Yasharal, the Negroes scattered to the four corners of the earth. We are the children of Israel, and judgment is coming. Anyways, this is my expose on that movie. Probably different than what you've heard, probably different than what you will see. That movie, Leave the World Behind, is on Netflix. Go watch it. Go watch it. I'm not promoting it like that, but it's a movie you should watch. It really is a movie that you should watch because it does fit into Bible prophecy, and it does fit into Bible prophecy, but because this Barack Obama, which I think possibly could be the Antichrist, because he's the actual, they consulted with him in order to get notes on how this movie should go. He even disagreed with some of the things they were saying. They were like, oh, we should do this. He's like, nope, it's not going to be like that. What do you mean it's not going to be like that? How do you know it's not going to be like that? Look, because he has something to do with it, you need to be paying attention to this movie. Not to make you afraid, not to make you scared, but to know this is how it's going to be. No communication with nobody. Everybody's apprehensive and hating everybody else. There's not going to be, I'll help you. We're having a hard time. You're having a hard time. Let's help each other. None of that. It's going to be mano y mano, man for man and for himself, right? Survival of the fittest. That's the situation they have created. Turn us all against one another. That's all they want to do because they don't have the numbers. We rise up against them, they're destroyed. But see, that's not Bible prophecy. That's not supposed to happen, and that won't happen. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can go to Cash App, $ Judah J Talks 144, $ JUDAH JTALKS